Hello everyone, I am Dr.A.G.Mythili, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce with Finance, Dr. SNS Rajeshmi College of Arts and Science. In this video, I am going to speak about check. So, the origin of the word check is not clear. According to Gilbert, it has been derived from French word chess, meaning chess. Other than the view of the origin word chess can be traced to the notes issued by the goldsmith of London in the early period. The modern check anyway is the outcome of an old trial and error form of check. So coming to the meaning of check. Normally check is a printed and issued by the banker, normally issued in the form of booklets containing 10 leaves, 20 leaves called checkbook. Either issued to withdraw money for personal use or to make trade payments or otherwise in favor of another person. So in legal term, check is a negotiable instrument. Negotiable means transferability from one person to another. A check can be given in the name of one person, can be transferred to the ownership of another person by merely putting the signature on the backside of the check. So a check is a negotiable instrument which is supplied by a banker to a customer who opens a savings account or a current account in a bank. So coming to the definition of a check. According to the section 6 of Negotiable Instrument Act 1881, a check is a bill of exchange drawn on a specified banker and not expressed to be payable otherwise than on demand. So a check is an instrument in writing containing an unconditional order addressing to the banker signed by the person who has deposited money with the banker, requiring him to pay on demand a certain sum of money only to or to the order of certain person or to the bearer of the instrument. So a better understanding of the concept of check details is defined in bill of exchange. Since the check is nothing but bill of exchange, section 5 of Negotiable Instrument Act defines bill of exchange as an instrument in writing containing an unconditional order signed by the maker directing a certain person to pay a certain sum of money only to or to the order of certain person or to the bearer of the instrument. So coming to the characteristics of check. So a check, it is an instrument in writing. A check necessarily to be an instrument in writing. Oral orders therefore do not constitute a check. So there is a specific rule regarding the writing material to be used. So a check should be it should be in writing. It should be drawn on a banker. So it is always drawn on a specified banker. A check can be drawn on a banker only where the drawer has an account, saving bank or current account. So it is an unconditional order, you can say. A check is an order to pay and it is not a request. It is an indigenous bill of exchange, words of courtesy with little monetary implication. So this is an order must be an unconditional. If any condition is attached to an order, the instrument can no longer be called a check. So check must be an order to pay a certain sum of money. A check should be contain an order to pay a certain sum of money only if the check is drawn to do something in additional or other than to pay money. Cannot be say it is a check. It should be signed by the drawer and should be dated. A check should be signed clearly by the drawer and it should be dated as well as. So it is payable of demand. So a check is always payable on demand. So validity, a check is normally valid for 3 months from the date of its bearer. So after the 3 months of the issue of the date, it is known as stale check. It is not accepted by the bank. So coming to the MICR check. So nowadays banks supply their customers MICR, magnetic ink character recognition check. This check is contains with patches at the bottom in which the number are given in magnetic form. The given numbers represent number of checks, code number of the concerned branch and the bank. So MICR code has been given to enable mechanical sorting. Normally the MICR code line is framed such a manner containing the following numbers. The first 6 numbers signifies the check number. The second 3 numbers signify the city code. The third number signify the bank code. The fourth 3 numbers signify the branch code of the bank. So a check payment involves 3 parties, the drawer, drawee and payee. So the drawer of the check is the bank account holder. Drawee of the check is on whom the check is drawn. It is the bank branch which has issued the checkbook. The bank branch ultimately pays the check. Payee of the book of the check is the beneficiary of the check, the person to whom the amount of check is paid. So coming to the drawing of a check. If a drawer makes the check properly and if the balance of the drawer at the bank permits, the bank must pay the amount of check as soon as he presented. If the drawer does not make the check properly, the bank rejects payment. Hence, to make a check properly, the following points or the rules must be considered. Date. Date should be mentioned in the check properly. If the check is not more than the 3 months older or contain future date, then the bank will not pay the amount. Name of the payee. The name of the payee should be mentioned on the check clearly, and the amount of the check. The amount of the check should be mentioned both in words and figures should be clearly, and it should be the same. The amount written in words should be tally with the amount written in figures. If these two does not tally, the banker will reject the check. And the signature. The drawer should sign the check properly. The signature given on the check should tally with the signature on the specification card. The signature should be the same one. Account number. The drawer should mention his account number clearly and correctly. Minimum balance. The minimum balance of the check should be maintained by the drawer in the bank. Beside it, certain amount, a minimum balance should always be maintained as per the rule of the bank. Overwriting. There should not be any overwriting in the check. If there is any overwriting, the bank will reject the check. Conditions of the check. Check should be in a proper condition. If the check is torn or wet or it is tarred, the bank will not accept it. Endorsement. The order and crossed check should be transferred by proper endorsement and delivery. Otherwise, the amount of the check will not be paid by the banker. So coming to the guidelines on alteration of check. If we ask, can we alter any alteration? As per RBI's guidelines on alteration, correction of checks effective from 1st December 2010, no changes. Correction would be allowed on check forms except of date. For any change in the check, a fresh check form need to be issued. This will be applicable only for check cleared under the image based check translation system, that is TCS. This is not applicable to check cleared under other clearing arrangements such as MICR clearing, over the counter clearing for cash payment or direct collection of check outside the clearing check. So thank you.